Hello guys, Grandpa the Nerd here. Welcome to my channel. Now this week I got another movie review. I told you it was coming when I did the last movie review, and here it is. Jack the Ripper. This is a nice little slipcover, nice and red, just the knife and the I'm gonna get you. So that's on there, and then on the back side you got an effective and grisly shocker. This lady of the night has taken her last walk. Bum, bum, bum. Try to be dramatic. And you can see here, good old Severin. Because I did the other one from way back, when they went underground and all that. Can't remember the name of it. Alzheimer's. Anyway, so that, like I said, that's the slipcover. Here's the actual cover itself. Jack the Ripper, Severin. And I like the artwork. I don't know if that's the original poster or not. And then on the inside, it's just got both discs, the 4K and the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray's upside down, and the 4K's upside down too. But you get the gist of it. And here's the back cover and the spine, back cover, just showing it off. Not like showing it off like, hey man, check out my car. No, I'm just like letting you guys see. Now I don't know if Severin has any more of these. You can go to their website, check it out. I don't know if they do, but they might. Now, I do believe it was 1956, and 1958. The European version is 85 minutes, US version is 86 minutes. I obviously watched the European version, because I wanted to see the boobs. I'm guilty. I wanted the boobs. The US version is the same as the UK version, and there's no boobage. 1958 boobs aren't like they are today. They're different shapes and sizes. Nowadays they all look the same. But that's because they're mostly bought for. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So this is a really, really good movie. Now I'm gonna lay it out for you. It's black and white. The end is in color. The last end scene is in color, but you'd have to see it. I'm not gonna ruin it, but there's a reason the last scene is in color. But outside of that, it's in black and white. You can tell it's done on a soundstage, with paintings as a backdrop. But I tell you what, this 4K transfer of this film, they said, according to the Severin in the disclaimer at the beginning, is they found 35 millimeter grainies. So, they didn't have the best to work with, but I think they did a magnificent job. It looks really, really good. The acting is good. Like I said, the cinematography, the costumes, the whole thing is a beautiful film. It's a beautiful film. I just love the way it looks. It's got great music. There's nothing inherently, visually, audio-wise, there's nothing wrong with the film. I mean, the special effects for its time, the makeup on the hunchback dude looks good. Not a lot of blood, but there is blood. Of course, your kills are all off camera, or you're just seeing the silhouette of the knife. It's 1958. I'm surprised. Be lucky you got the boobs. If you watch the American version of it, no boobs. But it's my problem with this film is nothing to do with. Even the story is good. My problem is the Jack the Ripper part. I've been a fan. Well, you don't want to say fan. I've been a follower of serial killers since I was a kid. Something about them just grabbed my attention, and I've researched them ever since. Back in the day before when I had to do it through encyclopedias and microfilch before we had a computer. I was fascinated with the story behind, and Jack the Ripper was the first one. I got a book about him in the library, which was kind of tame, but it led me to another book that wasn't so tame, and I saw those photos. And I was like, holy crud, man, he butchered those ladies. So it always that started my fascination with serial killers. Like, how can people do this, that, and the other? So I'm not 110% completely knowledgeable about Jack the Ripper, but I got the layman, you know what I mean? And I know it was never solved. No one ever knew who it was. And this movie leads you to believe, This was based on a book by a guy who did absolutely no research on Jack the Ripper and just wrote a book, just on what he thought he knew. Like I said, it's a really good. If this had been called something else, I would have been like 110% like satisfied with it. But it just irks me a little bit that it's really not Jack the Ripper. It's really not Jack the Ripper. Because like I said, he was never caught. They had no idea who he was. I think there was a documentary a little ways back, a couple weeks or so. I think someone finally did with DNA solve it, but I'm not getting into that. This one, like I said, if it was called something else, like Dr. Louie or something, I can't. My wheels aren't turning so fresh right now. But if it was called anything else, I would have been fine with it. And I'm still fine with it. It's a great classic film. It was their, they were taking, they were really trying to go in the direction of, hey, here's the story of Jack the Ripper. And I give them credit for that because there was no movies about Jack the Ripper, at the time. Alfred Hitchcock did a movie that was kind of loosely based on it, but there was nothing nobody tried to say, hey, this is Jack the Ripper. At least they tried that here. But I like I said, I still think if you're a fan of old movies, you got to be a fan of old movies first and foremost, because it is an old movie. But if you're a fan of old movies and you like, thrillers, the horror type thing, I think you should check this out. Now, like I said, I don't know if Severin has any more of them. But it's Jack the Ripper. If you can find it somewhere. I know these boutique labels, maybe Arrow has it, maybe Kino Lorber has it. I know they all like rotate. Kino comes out with theirs and then Shout does one, and so, Kino did the Doctor Who's that I got through Severin, but I know they all do their own thing, but I like getting mine. I don't really do Vinegar Syndrome too much because they're very expensive. I mainly stick to Severin. Severin and a little bit on Arrow, but I really like Severin. So if they have any more, I would check it out. But if they don't, you should try and find it. It's a really good movie, but I really like the slipcover. It's so simplistic, but like there's not much to it, but it's just amazing. It's just an amazing slipcover. I just like it. So yeah, Jack the Ripper. But like I said, it's not if you're a huge diehard follower of the Jack the Ripper saga, the story, the myth, the legend, it doesn't follow that. None of the people that were killed, the story about getting revenge for the death of your son, it's like totally has nothing to do. All they did was take the name and the premise of a guy, walking the streets of Whitechapel, and so outside of that, it's just a story that someone wrote and made up, which is still, like I said, a good story. I have no problem with the film story-wise if it had a different name, but at the end of the day, I still highly recommend it to any kind of movie buff, movie fan, especially black and white old films. If you're a fan of old black and white films and you're like an Alfred Hitchcock type person, you're gonna like Jack the Ripper. So make sure you head over to Severin and see if you can get a copy, and if you can't, keep your eyes open for it. Do a search, do whatever you got to do, but you should really find Jack the Ripper. It's got a good documentary on here too. The Real Jack the Ripper, interview with Dennis Milkey, author of Jack the Ripper, The Murderers, and the Movies. It's a good documentary. That's where I learned most of the stuff about, the basis of this film being based on a book by a guy who did no research. Gentleman Jack, the Whitechapel Murders Revisited. There's a guy in England, used to be, I don't know if he's still a mailman. You have to see the documentary, but he gives tours. He gives tours through Whitechapel and where all the killings took place. So it's an older one. It was from, I think, 2014 or 15, but it's still a good little mini doc, And then Choice Cuts, The Two Faces of Jack the Ripper, interview with Alan Petit, Ripperologist extraordinaire. He's a Frenchman. The whole documentary's subtitled because it's in his native language of French, but it's very insightful too. He talks about the different cuts and how the people who made this movie, because this movie was done by I can't remember their names. Yeah, Robert S. Baker and Monty Berman. They both did the cinematography, both directed it, produced it, and they did like Flesh and the Fiend. They did a bunch of movies. They came out of Hammer, if I recall correctly, and it basically it shows how the different cuts, how they would make one version for the UK audience, like how they would take movies and so like now you film a movie like here in the United States, you film a movie, you send it to the ratings board, they look at it, they don't ever tell you what's wrong with it, they just tell you PG, PG-13, R, NC-17, we can't rate it, whatever but they don't tell you, well, what do we need to cut? We don't tell you that. So you got to kind of figure out what they did. Well, in the UK, you would submit your scripts to them, and they would tell you yes, 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 no, 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 and then give you the script back, and then you make the changes. So they made two versions of some of their films. A continental version, which we now call international, or some people do. And then they would have their British version. Now, the British version and the U.S. version were the same. They filmed scenes with no topless women or anything. But the Continental version, they did. So he explains all that and how they went about finding it. And, this movie's Continental version is just lost forever. So it's really good. It's really good. I suggest if you're a film buff, and like I said, if you're a film buff and you like stuff, make sure you pick up Jack the Ripper from Severin. If they don't have them anymore, just keep your eyes out. It might pop up at Kino Lorber or Arrow or something, but you should really get your hands on it. It's a great movie. It's worth the time. So Jack the Ripper, great movie. Should have been called something else, but doesn't take away the fact that it is a good movie. It is a good movie. So my next ones will probably be the Doctor Who's with Peter Cushing. Those will probably be my next one. I don't know though. It depends on when because I got other movies that I'm going to watch that I won't review. Like, I got to watch JFK, the Oliver Stone movie. I got to do a review of that. It's JFK. We all know it. We all love it. It's a great movie. What's the point? Just wasting time. But the other stuff that's rare, like, I ordered from Shout Factory. I ordered the Bava collection. I'll probably do those. Like Bloody Sunday, Black Sabbath, a lot of his other stuff. Two films that he made with I love Telly Savalas, Kojak, baby. But I'll probably do those films, and there's like 15 of them in that box set, so that'll be a long set of I got a lot of stuff. I got my audio shows on Vortex Radio, and I do my music moment on B Movie TV. So I have to work these in. Plus I got my family, and then with the Alzheimer's and everything, time is slipping away from me. So, but I've got that Mario Bava, and I ordered some other stuff from Severin again. So I'll still do my movies, and I got other stuff I want to do videos of. But the movies, I just enjoy watching movies, so make sure. But yeah, with that being said, don't forget vortex-radio.com. I got some radio shows, audio shows over there. I do a show called Rockin' the Decades on Wednesday nights. On Saturday night, I do Grandpa's Playlist. And then on Sunday, I do Soothing Sounds. So make sure you check that out. It's over at vortex-radio.com. There's a schedule there. You can see when my shows come on. We have a lot of other shows. I'm not just trying to say it's all about me. There's other guys on there that have shows. You should check it out. And that's vortex-radio.com. I'm also on B-Movie TV. I'm good friends with Ken Brewer. He owns that and Livid Media. And he makes great movies. At least I think they're great movies. And he's a great guy. And I do a show called The Music Moment, just like 15 minute up, on the weekends for the filler. He shows movies like 24/7, and in between movies he has commercials and filler and stuff like that. And that's where my show falls in on Saturday and Sunday. I do albums and just little 30-second clips of the song. I talk about it and act like an idiot. So that's on B-Movie TV. So if you have a Roku, just go in the Roku store and download the B-Movie TV app and check it out. So all B-movies from all different genres. You got sci-fi, horror, martial arts, action. It's great. And all the decades. This is 70s, 80s, 90s, 50s. It's B-Movie TV. Just grab it and check it out. And but yeah, I'm a part of that too. So the stuff on Vortex is, that's not my network, but I'm on there. B Movie TV is obviously not mine, and I'm on there. But here, this is my thing. So this is my personal thing. And one day B Movie TV might be gone. One day Vortex might be gone. I don't know. I hope not. But this will be here as long as YouTube's around. Even after the Alzheimer's takes me, people will still be able to come see my review of Jack the Ripper if they want. So, I like doing this. I know I don't do a lot of them. I know I don't got, I'm no Asmund Gold here. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have a lot of subscribers is what I'm saying, but I try not to disappoint the 63 that I have, but, I try to put out stuff. But I come up with ideas and I think, oh, that's stupid. No one wants to see that. And then I get down and depressed and then I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So maybe I should just not worry about if you guys are going to like it or not. And just do it. Just do it and get it over with. I am going to make a video about that guy. Like a little... I want to talk about some of the YouTubers that I watch here just to give people an idea of, the kind of stuff that entertains me. I don't have to agree with everything that I see on the internet, which I don't. But sometimes people that you don't agree with do make sense sometimes. And, like, Asmund is one of those. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I was here to talk about Jack the Ripper. And now that I'm done talking about Jack the Ripper, I'm going to get out of here, let you guys go. Because, people nowadays like short videos. And I've already been on recording here for 16 minutes. So it's time to move on. So anyway, I'll be back. Probably, like I said, I'll probably be those two Doctor Who's. Could be something else. I don't know. I got other movies up there. I've been watching in between movies. I've been watching Miami Vice, and so who knows? I've been watching Kojak. So who knows what I'm gonna do next? But I will do something. I just don't know when. Well, anyway, thanks for checking me out. Thanks for watching my video. Tell your friends. Hey, there's this crazy old dude who reviews movies and he sucks. But check it out. It's pretty cool. Anyway, thanks, guys. It's Grandpa the Nerd. I will see you next time. You guys rock. Thank you. And tell your friends. I do need some more subscribers. Not looking to make no money off this network. I have no blind ambitions that I'm going to be world famous and make millions of dollars on YouTube. I'm not that guy. I just want to entertain people with what time I got left on this planet. And I just want the subscribers. Don't care about monetization. I just want people to, be entertained. So tell your friends, maybe I'll pick up a couple more subscribers. I've been sitting still at 63. So anyway, I ramble. Thanks, guys. I'll see you.